experience has been just fantastic. Super professional, delivers well thought out products. The same piece of software would have probably been 3 to 4 times the cost and double the time in development. We came out of Y Combinator. We've got rounds led by Tribe Capital. They asked let me run an experiment outside the bounds of our existing team without compromising security or the existing budget, and do it at a fraction of the cost of building that team. It's beautiful, it's simple, it's very usable. And the fact that we could build so much in so little time, truly professional, very responsive, very high standard of work.
Would you hire Big House Technologies again?
Yes, I would absolutely hire Big House again.
Hey, Kevin, thanks for taking the call and willing to answer some questions about your experience with Big House. We've been working together for some months now, and yeah, I wanted to see how your experience has been. If we can get started by just an introduction of yourself, what Humi does, and what your role at the company is.
Absolutely. My name is Kevin. I'm one of the founders and currently CEO, president of Humi. We built a B2B SaaS app. It helps Canadian companies do employment. So they do HR and payroll and health benefits and all sorts of other awesome things within that sphere. And we've been working together for, how long has it been? Like a year, about?
Yeah, almost a year. Yeah, it's almost going to be a
year. The experience has been just fantastic. Super professional. Delivers like really well thought out products. Helped push us in certain directions that have been really advantageous down the road. Like helping us restructure our database, re-engineer the UI, UX within the app, all sorts of things that we didn't explicitly ask for that have made material differences to the quality of the product. And so it's been a really great experience and highly recommend.
Thanks. So can we talk a little bit about the product? Humi SR&ED, Scientific Research and Experimental Development Tax Incentives. That's that problem that we're trying to solve. Can you talk about the problem and what you were trying to do with it?
Yeah, absolutely. Also, let me know if my service cuts out a little bit, being a little stretchy. But so effectively, the problem we're trying to solve was that in Canada, there are employment grants that are very material and that are born out of information that existed within the system that we currently hosted our customers on and other systems. And what we want to do is pull that information in and to make it useful to our customers so they could apply for and use it towards those grants. And so what we initially had asked to get help building was the application itself that pulled information from our core system, from other systems that our customers work with, and then processed it into a really useful piece of information that our customers could use to get the grants that they need.
Amazing. Do you know if there are existing software that analyze or track these grants? In general, off-the-shelf software, or what made you go custom?
Yeah, so to do what we wanted to do specifically, nothing existed, and nothing does exist in the market. We are the first to bring something like this to market, which is all sorts of exciting. And obviously, working, with Noel made it so accessible to go and experiment and to be quicker to bring something to market than we otherwise, would have had if we had built it internally. So the same piece of software would have probably been 3 to 4 times the cost and, double the time in development.
Amazing. So Humi is itself a VC-backed technology company with some amazing investors, including Y Combinator.
We came out of Y Combinator. We've got rounds led by Tribe Capital, and some of the best investors and other founders in the ecosystem. So Ahmad from Mercury, and just drawing a blank, but we have a handful of other like really awesome investors from the ecosystem.
Sweet. So you definitely have a technology team in-house. What made you look for an external development team like Big House?
Yeah, so Big House let me run an experiment outside the bounds of our existing team without compromising security or the existing budget. You know, it's one thing to have to like staff up a full team to go build something to test out a thesis. It's another thing to be able to outsource that and do it at a fraction of the cost of building that team internally.
Amazing. So I'm gonna present screen for like a minute, that tool that we're building together. And in general, if you can just share your thoughts on the tool, what's like important to you.
It's beautiful, it's simple, it's very usable. The things that, when we need additional functionality, it's not, we're able to get it in there, but in there in a way that makes sense. Often feature creep can kill apps and make them way, way bigger than they necessarily should be. But in this case, working with Big House, Noel does a great job of helping us like clarify the requests, and you're not just asking him to do stuff; you're working alongside him to build, really user-centric, like very like high quality products.
Amazing, thanks for that.
My pleasure.
What surprised you most about building with Bubble and no code?
I think the quality of it. You just would never ever know as a user. It can be snappy. It can look really good. It can have interactions that make it seem as if you're using any other code base and language. The thing I've always been amazed by was the sheer cost and accessibility of building it, and the fact that we could build so much in so little time, just working, with one person is pretty incredible.
Amazing. Prior to Big House, you worked with other software agencies. How do you compare the experience?
What I can say is that you're feel good talking to third parties, but I'll just say directly to you, extremely professional, very responsive, very high standard of work. Those things are just they're all markers of high quality, and it's been that way from day one. It's tough to find, and so it's something to really value.
Thanks. Likewise, and I appreciate when someone like you said that. Thank you.
For sure.
How do you see the tool evolving in the next 12 months?
Good question. I see it becoming much more commercially, a lot of the focus is being in functionality and building the core of what the app would be. And I think the next 12 months is much more focused on bringing users into the application and adjusting to the feedback that comes out of it. Making sure we have really good onboarding, really good support pieces. We can figure out where people get stuck. We can identify what's really useful and make changes based on that. I would think that a lot of the changes in the next year, in the near term, will be on onboarding customers and designing for larger scale. I think the PLA motion is going to be really important for this tool, and it's something we haven't spent a ton of time focusing on, and I'm sure that will be a next big thing.
Okay. What advice do you have for CEOs considering internal tools?
Considering outsourcing the building of or considering working with Big House versus internals. I think that you make sure you communicate a ton with your CTO and technical leader. One of the interesting parts of this type of relationship is that you don't need a technical team necessarily to build something that can that you can run an experiment around, but making sure you're very well. You've got a good understanding with your chief technical officer and understanding how success in working with Big House translates to potential success down the line and working with the rest of the org. Because there can be some feelings with respect to using a platform like Bubble over like some traditional coding languages and structures. But past that, in the past, when I've run these types of things, I made sure like the people on the product team understood what we were doing and why. Because anybody who's like really excited about products should believe that like getting good product out the door and like in a customer's hands quicker is just going to be the best thing to do, almost no matter what. So I'm just been rambling for a bit, but I think communication with the person in your org who runs tech and product is the most important thing when considering this type of thing, especially if it's going to be outside of that domain.
I agree. You mentioned experimenting, and yeah, you want to get things out fast, which you also mentioned. Some people are like very married to like back-end, front-end type frameworks, and while you can do more stuff with them, but it's just slower. And yeah, so let me ask the very last question, which I think you mentioned already. But where do you hire Big House Technologies again?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I might do this for a side hustle as we speak. So yes, I would absolutely hire Big House again.
Nice, amazing. Thanks. So those are the end of my questions. Do you have any other thing that you would like to add, or things that you would like to add before we end?
No, not really. Hopefully, I'll pump your tires enough or give you some good clips you can use. But yeah, it's great working with you.
Cool. Well, I'll stop recording, and thank you very much